My name is MaKhumalo Ngidi, and I am the Chief Marketing Officer of Proudly South African. In our view, as Proudly South African, it has had a very big impact. I mean, we had to start somewhere. There's still a lot of work to be done in the industry, and we are grateful that we created an enabling environment to start the discussion. Somebody has to do it. But I must also say that we couldn't have done it on our own. I mean, that collaboration was absolutely critical to ensure that this wine expo, the very first Local Wine Expo, brought to you by Proudly South African, was a success. But I think ultimately it was a good access to market opportunity for local wine brands, one that they need so desperately to make it in the industry. It's a big deal for South African economy. Look, the economy is not going to resuscitate itself. Even prior to the pandemic, the economy was in trouble. We had been downgraded as a country, and many industries were affected. And many industries will argue that theirs was affected the most, and whatever the case may be. But we often view as Proudly South African that human beings were affected. There's no industry without a human being. Households were affected. People lost jobs. Companies shut down. So this is massive for the industry because, like I said earlier on, we had to start somewhere, and we all have to play our part to see the difference that we would like to be, for the industry and for the economy at large. There were difficult discussions that were had during our buyer and media session. We were talking about the elephant in the room, and the elephant in the room is that lack of opportunities for wine makers that are women in particular, and black wine makers. And the buyers were in the room. Different questions were posed at them about lack of opportunity for some of these brands. But the outcome, varies really. So those discussions were important, but also the brand owners were reminded that it is also equally their responsibility to work twice as hard to make sure that their brand, their offering, is palatable, if you like. Most importantly, a lot of opportunities came out of this local expo. A lot of transactions between big retail stores and these SMMEs and their products. And hopefully, in the next few weeks or so, we will see all of these 30 brands that were here at different retail stores across South Africa. The most important is access to market. It's one thing for somebody to own a good wine brand or a good idea and have no one to say. If you don't have anybody to buy your brand or to sell the brand to, it defeats the purpose. So it's about access to market opportunity. Those are the benefits. And also, I mean, all of these wine brands that were here the past 3 days did not have to pay Proudly South African a cent to be here. We made it all happen. We created these wonderful stands for them. We jazzed up the stands. We did the branding, the marketing, the PR for them. They, by virtue of the fact that they are a member of the Proudly South African campaign, they got to showcase their product to consumers at no cost to them. All we were asking them to do is to get up, dress up, show up, and present to us and to the consumers a palatable, great wine. It's a wrap, folks. Thank you so much for joining us at the very first Proudly South African Local Wine Expo that we are hoping to grow in leaps and bounds. We know for sure that we will see you again next year with many other wine brands. So do the right thing, join the Buy Local movement, and let's do this thing together.